to what's going on, man. This preacher. So I was sitting out here. I'm at this service plaza on Turnpike in Florida, right? And apparently some of these RV people was parked next to me back here, right? So then they was like, well, they thinking about getting into the trucking because they heard that it's good money. And I said, so you heard that it's good money? They was like, yeah, we heard that it's good money, that y'all make a lot of money. I said, did y'all also hear that it's a lot of expenses with it? They're like, well, no. So then I said, well, did you hear that the market isn't as good as it was a couple of years ago? That a lot of people are struggling and going out and giving it up. They're like, no. I said, so y'all hearing all the good stuff about the trucking, but what about the bad stuff about the trucking? You realize if you break down how much a tow is, they say, oh yeah, well, we know about the tow because they had to get their RV towed. I said, okay, so think about that. Those RV tires, are they cheap? They're like, well, no. I said, exactly. So the expenses dealing with trucking is also expensive. I said, so when people start telling you about it's money inside the trucking industry, the next thing that y'all need to ask them was, well, let me see things. Give me the full story. Give me the good and the bad. Just don't give me the good of it, because everybody can't do this. That's why a lot of people is quitting, because everybody can't do this job. They can't. They hopping from company to company now because, oh, ain't no miles over here. It's no miles over here. It's no miles over there. Well, ain't no miles because it's not that much freight out here. So no matter where you go, you're not gonna get a whole bunch of miles. You're just gonna hop from company to company, company to company. You get out here and try to get a truck and you don't know how to book loads, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. I mean, all these trucking gurus, or I done made previous videos about that. Oh, well, I know how to book freight. Yeah, everybody know how to book freight when freight is up there. And brokers paying real good because they need their freight moved. Everybody know. But what about now? They can't book freight now. They giving up their trucks. They ain't posting they rate cons. They ain't posting up talking about how much they getting per mile. And then when they do get a good load per mile, they post that. But then 2 weeks later, they talking about the rates. Yeah, there's a couple of unicorn loads out there. Yeah, there is. But you know, with the unicorn loads, sorry about that, I had a phone call. But with the unicorn loads, they come in, they go. That's why we call them a unicorn load. You ain't gonna see those all the time. So yeah, you may get that, you know. But I try to tell people, I mean, you getting out here and you wanna be an owner-op, or you want to be a lease operator, but you only want to run stuff for your criteria. Well, if you want to make it out here, your criteria is going to have to change. That's just how it is, man. Your criteria is going to have to change if you want to make it out here. That ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, you want to be home, but hey, you got a business to run. You got a lot of people that want to get their own truck, but you also got to realize you running a business. So you have to make business decisions. You can't make personal decisions. You got to make business decisions. So do you want your business to make money or don't you? But no, we have a lot of people out here that don't want to make the sacrifice. They don't. You just want to get your truck, you just want to get money, and you want to be home at the same time, and you don't want to run that much. It's not going to happen. And until a lot of people start to realize it's a sacrifice if you want to make it inside this business. The money's going to come, but you're going to have to sacrifice first, and then the money comes second. But you're going to have to sacrifice first. So sometimes when you're thinking about getting inside a truck, and you have to ask yourself, what sacrifices do I want to make this thing work? That's on the company driver side, that's on the owner op side, that's on the lease operator side. It's the same thing. You're going to have to really ask yourself that question. Do I want to sacrifice? If I don't want to sacrifice, your best bet is to stay where you at if you don't want to sacrifice. But ask yourself that question before you start listening to what people are starting to say. Ask them the good and the bad. Well, tell me the bad stuff. Okay, the good stuff, that's all good, but tell me the bad stuff. What's the bad stuff? What's the bad reality of it? Give me all the bad stuff. People always want to talk about the good stuff, or then they want to say that, hey, well, it's no good paying loads. Yeah, there are good paying loads. Do you want to go where those good paying loads are taking you in? That's the question. Are you going to be in the area where the good paying loads are at? If you say there's not no good paying loads, give more detail and description. Why are you saying that there ain't no good paying loads? When you ask this question, can I make money in him? Yes, you can make money in him, but do you want to sacrifice for that money that you're trying to make? You know, so then if you do want to sacrifice, how long do you want to make that sacrifice? You got to realize a lot of people who start up businesses, they do not make money their first year. They don't start making money to the end of their second year in business, and sometimes not even then. So your first couple of years of getting started, you cannot expect to just make all kinds of money. And the money that you are making, you better save for hard times, because there's going to be some hard times. But no, people don't want any hard times. You want to make the money, but you don't want to have to go through anything to make the money. You don't want to have to deal with all the heartaches that comes inside this business. You want everything to be so simple to you. You just want to be able to call a broker and be like, yeah, I want this load for $3 a mile, and expect the broker that he's just going to give it to you for $3 a mile. You know? So think about that when you start thinking about getting inside a trucker, okay? You hearing things, because every trucker going to have a totally different story. Ask more detailed questions when you're talking to these truckers. They give you all the good, ask for the bad stuff. That's what you're supposed to do, ask for the bad stuff. Especially when you're on the op and you go through the DOT inspection, and then they find some stuff, and now they didn't put you out of service, now you got to pay that out of service fine. You know, and what you gonna say? Well, you should have pre-tripped your truck. Yeah, you can pre-trip your truck. You can say you're gonna do a post-trip inspection. You can do all that particular stuff. But for that last 2 hours that you was riding, you don't know what happened to your tire. And now you're going through the weigh station, all of a sudden your tire is underinflated, because they have those sensors that would do it. You don't know. You did a pre-trip. You checked all your tire pressures. They was right. But between while you was riding through a construction zone, you could have got one of these bolts or nails up in it, and your tire could have been just doing a slow leak, right? So that's a lot of times you got to think about stuff like that. It happens. You did all your planning and everything you had to do. It happens. Stuff happened on your way, on your route. So are you going to have the money to pay for that? Talk about all the bad stuff. We telling people about the business, but tell them the good and the bad. Just don't give people all the good stuff. I start off with all the bad stuff. I say, you sure you want to do this? Because of this. It's a different thought. All right, man. Y'all take it easy.